Hello, my honeys. Giving people maybe a chance to get here. We may have people here, we may not. I'm always scheduling things just right on the moment. But hello, my name is Kamara. I'm the Black Dove Oracle. And I'm also Rooted Futures on TikTok. And today on TikTok, I went live and there was a lot to share. Spirit has been saying to share some of the things that have been going on lately and how to begin to shape our world. Because Spirit is saying right now that it's critical that we shift from being survivalists to futurists. And being a futurist, hey, Jazz Effect. I'm so glad you caught the live too. I'm waiting for people to come in. It's good to see you. So I'm just getting started. We're going to kind of go slow. I'm just introducing the topic because Spirit says this is going to be a very deep channeled message. And it's for our time. So I have some card pulls that I'm going to be doing, but at the end of this, I'm also going to be reading the Declaration of Sovereignty because that is important. So thank you for joining me, Jazz Effect. I'm glad you got a chance to see, and hopefully this message will resonate. It's going to be a collective message, so you all take it where it resonates. Because during the TikTok live that I just had a few hours ago, there was a lot of messages coming through. So I think there are going to be some messages coming through tonight as well. I was trying to do like a double kind of live stream, but it didn't work with TikTok. I think I still need to get some permissions from them to set it up for this. So it'll be two messages. We'll see. They might come out slightly different or the same. We'll know. We don't know. But anyway, so let's get to it. I think what we're going to do first is to start with an opening message. And what Spirit has been giving me as a download, and I posted this on TikTok, was that it's critical for us to move from being in survivalist mode to beginning to be futurists, meaning we need to start thinking about the future. How do we want to live in the future? How do we want to shape it? Because as you see, things are coming to a close with this particular system. And in that closure, there's a lot of scarcity. There's things that people are really fearful of this change. But I think there's a part of us that knows it needs to change. Like we need a different world, a different system. And so Spirit has a lot to say about that. I think one of the first things that it said was that, I want to also say, like, whatever I'm going to say in this live channeled message as it's coming from Spirit as well, does not mean that you should negate money, survival at the base level of needing, getting your food, getting your, needs taken care of. But Spirit wants us to shift how we even think about money, how we think about how this next time period of transition is going to be. So let's start with an opening message from the cosmic ancestors, because they had a beautiful message that came out in the earlier live. So let's just start with them. A while ago, when I was doing kind of like a guided imagery with this group of people. And they were supposed to be connecting us to our cosmic ancestors. I totally got a message from my cosmic ancestors that they like this deck. I don't know. I probably tell that story every time I use this deck, but I love it because it feels like special messages from them. So let's get to it. What's going to be the opening message from survival to futurist? I've already said the prayers and I've already cleansed the cards. So we're just hopping into it. I hope you're doing okay, Jazz Effects. It's been nice to see you here. Oh, creative spark. So the cosmic ancestors, they're saying right now that we are in a very powerful, creative energy. And it's going to be important in this coming time that we, I like, because the last message they had at the last live was meditation. And I see that that imagery still hasn't changed. But this time it's talking about creative spark. And this card really does speak to us needing to create the world that we want to live in. Like we can't passively just sit back and hope that this is, hey, Chiefess Earth Star Guardian. How are you? I'm glad you caught this because this is a channeled message from Spirit. I'm giving it to everyone, and I know people will probably trickle in. So I'll try to take it slow. Good to see you. So what I was saying here with the opening message is that Spirit is saying we have a beautiful, actually powerful and necessary opportunity to create the new world, the new earth. And this time is coming through right now to show us that Spirit is saying, I'm going to begin, or I have been even, I'm hearing, working with you all to become more embodied so that you can begin to hear the voice of Spirit in regards to these upcoming times. You know, we are getting ready to shift into a new earth. And this new earth will need all of our talents and skills. It will need everything that we have been awakening to is necessary for this shift. So this is an interesting time because Spirit is saying here that we have a lot to contribute, but we can't just passively wait for some new system to come about, because you see right now that they are trying to re-engineer our compliance, meaning they're trying to re-engineer what it is that we will accept as the bare minimum to exist in this system. And Spirit is saying, you do not have to live this way. You do not have to suffer. Suffering is not part of your destiny. It can be a part of the programming, though. And so, you know, we're being told to be in our authenticity, to remove all of the mask that we have been grinning and bearing. I'm hearing we've been grinning and bearing this existence under this system, under this government. And Spirit is saying here that when we remove our mask, because many of us are wearing the mask, we are, yeah, you're trying to yeah, Jazz Effect, you're like, I'm doing well and definitely feeling like this. Yeah, cool. Yeah, because the survivalist mentality, Spirit is saying, is really one of manipulation. Like they want you to believe that anything that they do will be because you have to suffer if you want to move away from the system. And Spirit's saying it's completely untrue. But as long as they put us in scarcity mindset, we are always going to be in survivalist mode. Oh, Chiefess. Yeah, you said I need a message. Yep. I'm going to start posting these. But Spirit is saying here, some of the first steps, especially for the people who are watching me now, because the TikTok message, I think you can go and listen to it on TikTok. But this live is talking about how do we personally begin to emerge, like evoke a part of ourselves that's very authentic. We're taking off the mask. We're not pretending we're doing well. We're not pretending that everything is okay. When we take off the mask and we share it with everyone, a collective kind of sharing of where we're at. And there's something else that Spirit has been saying too, that this is not business as usual. This is not about a segment of people. This is about all of us. This is about the earth. And to be in survivalist mode, Spirit says we've been in it too long. There is nothing else for us to feel like we need to hang on to in regards to this system. And Spirit has shown it to me. Right now, we are in, if these were our feet, we have one foot that's in this old timeline. This timeline that's ending its cycle. We could feel it. We know it. And we have this new timeline that we're coming into. And this and one foot is in this new timeline. The other one is in the old timeline. And this old timeline, Spirit is wanting us to understand it's losing its grip on us. The more that we get into our consciousness, the more that we get out of consumerism and start to get into observation, we're seeing this old world can't hold our true selves. It can't hold our true reality. But Spirit is saying this is kind of like a very vulnerable time, because some of us are going, is this real anymore? But I'm not sure if this is real, because Spirit is saying the new earth, and I'm just hearing it as that, the new time that we're going into, that timeline already exists. It exists with our future selves. It exists with Spirit. And Spirit is saying we have to become, those of us who still have one foot in this reality, like which I think is a majority of us, we have to become sensitive, literally sensitive to the messages, because our future selves are trying to connect with us now. It's almost like if you can imagine two very heavy barges, slowly moving towards each other, these timelines. And at some point, they're going to have to merge. They're going to have to meet. And Spirit is saying we're kind of right here. And there's many of us who are so sensitive. We're feeling the momentum. Time feels like it's moving fast. I don't know about you all, but it's moving fast to me. And it's like Spirit is saying it's not by mistake. It's all by design. But what our current assignment is to get out of survivalist mode. This is what the old paradigm wants you to be in. It wants you to be in lack mindset. It wants you to feel afraid. It wants to use that energy. This timeline was created by, I don't know, I'm hearing this from Spirit, but Spirit says this is not really the technical term for it, but it was created by vampires, energy vampires. And these energy vampires, because Spirit says that's just like a simple way to look at it, but these entities, they feed off of our fear. They feed off of our worries, our anxieties. And the more that, hey, boss lady, thank you for being here. And the more that these entities, really, I mean, the more that these entities feel hungry, they're going to ramp up our anxiety. They're ramping up what they're trying to do to us to keep us in this timeline. And so we've got to know that these entities, they are doing their work, but Spirit says we're all coming in here. Spirit is showing me it's like our creator is here, all of the ascended masters, all of our cosmic ancestors, all of our earthly ancestors, all of our animal guides and earthly guides, they are here. They're coming in hot at this moment, and they're saying we have so much to share with you, because but you have to let this world go. You have to let this reality dissolve, because this new earth that's coming in, we have to start imagining it right now. Our current, I don't know what you want to call them, ruling class, government, I don't know. All these people who have been in power for, and I don't even like using these terms because I really don't believe they're powerful. I believe that they're illusionary. But, Spirit is saying here that as we get into this closer, as the timelines move closer together, we're needing to understand that we need to imagine this future world. We can't imagine it. We can't create new systems. We can't create a world that's peaceful, that's abundant, that's, peaceful for everyone, that's healthy for everyone. We can't even restore the earth as long as we're in survivalist mode. And so Spirit has been giving me this message, like, you've got to share this now. I love Spirit because Spirit's always kind of like, I can't share. We're not on, time doesn't really relate to Spirit. And so when you're doing all these channeled messages, you're like, it's weird because Spirit will be like, I don't share the same concept of time that you all have been programmed to believe. And so I can tell when they want me to do something urgently, they'll just say, now. Now is the time. And I'm all like, okay, now, because they know that word. They're like, now means now. So I love it. And I feel very blessed to be able to share this message with you all, because Spirit is saying it's not just the empaths, it's not just the spiritualists. We all have to wake up. We all have to get out of this illusionary nightmare, which is the old timeline. The old timeline was there to serve whoever was trying to serve it. And we've all got to know, and I think this will be a totally different reading when we're looking at the spell that we've all been put under. And that spell happened when the colonialists and the conquerors came to various lands and decided people were going to serve them. And that, how do I want to say, that motive, that mission they've been on for years, for hundreds of years, is coming to a close. The spell has been broken. Spirit says all the work that we've been doing up to this point has broken the spell. This is why they are urgently, frantically, chaotically trying to keep their world, trying to keep this old timeline going. But you got to see they're frantic. They need us to panic. They need us to become angry. They need us to express all of these erratic emotions so that they can feed off of it. But we have to understand that our time is now. If there's no other time, Spirit says, besides now, to create the world that we want to be in. And so, I am thankful you all are here, Chiefess, for this new world, because we got to build it. And you could see we can't build it as long as we are anchored to the old timeline. And that is not to say we don't need to eat, we don't need to get to to the grocery store, or we don't, it's not bypassing what we have to do, but Spirit is literally showing the timelines are coming together. And this is why everything feels fast. Everything feels fast and furious, but you're going to feel it. Have you ever? Yeah. It's almost as if we've got to understand. Have you ever been, I mean, I don't know about you, I don't like it, but I'm saying, have you ever had that experience where someone, you're driving and someone gets just a little too close to your car and you're like, you could feel the energy of that car like right next to you. You're like, whoa, and you'll either stop or you'll speed ahead, right? Because you could feel that person getting ready to almost make contact. And spirit is showing me that this is how these timelines are. They're coming together like this, and we're feeling that, that there's probably a scientific term for it that I don't even know, but like you can feel that energy. Even if you rubbed your hands together and you slowly brought them, just try it right now. You rub your hands together very, until you feel some warmth, and then pull them apart and then try to pull them together. You're feeling that energy, right? Let me know in the chat. Are you feeling it? It's like a friction as the two hands are emanating energy. And this is what we've got to know. The timelines are moving like that. They have energy of their own. And spirit, it's showing that, demonstrating that to me for whatever reason. But we're going to get to what's next here. We had so many messages too. Let's go to the ancestral messages. Yeah, I like this. Boss lady, a little garden, preserve, stock water, solar power box. Yeah. Because guess what? There is, spirit is saying too, and this is like, you guys are going to be throwing messages because I did another TikTok live earlier on the same subject, and I'm just kind of remembering back and forth what they said earlier. And spirit is saying that they are cautioning us to not fall for the old hokey doke, which is, oh, we just have to elect new officials. We just have to get back the Democrats in the office. Spirit is saying no. Whatever this old system was, you all have to let it die. Do not think that someone else is coming in to be the savior. In fact, having a one person executive branch, we see that you can get in there and do whatever you want, especially if you have bought out the courts, you've bought out the officials. You can do whatever you want. So there is no checks and balances, and spirit has been really warning us through this message that we cannot sit here passively. Maybe not even passively, because some of us, we're activists, we're out on the street, we're helping people get fed, we're doing mutual aid. And spirit says that is the path. Mutual aid, bartering, growing stuff, like you said, boss lady, being to a place where we become more and more, spirit said to be careful with saying this, more and more self-reliant, but not individualistic, meaning we are more self-reliant in terms of how we're creating our resources and sharing with each other. We're not reliant on the government anymore. We can't even, spirit is saying, we can't even rely on this government for anything anymore. And you all, it is not working. Hey, Raj. Yeah, the corruption. And I was telling people earlier today when I was on TikTok, I was like, listen, y'all, I was the first person. I'm gonna come in close. I was years ago. I was like, get me out of this country. I don't even want to be here anymore, and I was ready to move. And then I think this time happened and my guides were like, no, you need to stay here. You need to stay here. This is where the work is. This is where the work is. Everywhere you go in this world has been impacted by this. And you could run, but you will not be able to hide, And so we're here. We've got to do this because the corruption it's too much. And so what are the ancestors saying? Yeah, many of us are going to have to get back into our creative self. This is very interesting where they're going with this message, because we had the creative spark here, and then we have craftsmanship. We are all going to get back into learning how to make things, make our food, because we need to leave behind the boxes and the cans and all the processed food, as much as we can. But we're being told to get back into our artistry, whatever it is, because Spirit says not everybody's going to be weaving, but some of us are going to be cooking. Some of us are going to have to learn machinery. Some of us, all of those skills, our ancestors are coming through now. This is the ancestor deck, by the way. And the ancestors are like, we used to know these skills. We used to know how to make broth and a full, like, from soup to nuts, that expression. We didn't buy anything already made. We used to have to know how to do these things, knit our own sweaters. I mean, I don't know. Gosh, we may have the time for it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, our ancestors had to do those things. I don't know. Do you guys ever watch? I have weird YouTube watching habits. I like to watch documentaries on real indigenous tribal people from all over the world. Like, they'll go and they'll stay with them and they'll film them getting up in the morning. I think I watched a Siberian family the other night, and you all, in Siberia, they're living in a tent. And like they said, -70. I don't even know what -70. Come on. I've been in negative. I think I've been in -6 before. And that's when I had to go to Wisconsin in the dead of winter or something. Was it Wisconsin or Michigan? And I was just like, I had never been in negative anything, because in California, we don't get negative. And literally, they were giving warnings like you have to cover your nose so your nose doesn't get frozen. Could you imagine being in -70? Like, these people were living in a tent. And of course, the mother's the one that gets up in the first, and lights all the fires so everybody can warm up the tent. And then she's like making breakfast. I'm all like, whoa. And I mean, when you look at people living with the earth, living with the land, it kind of, in a weird way, it tells me how, not a weird way, but it tells me how divorced we've been, how we've been given this life. And this life has taken us further and further away from the earth, from each other. And so our ancestors are saying, this is where we're going. And our ancestors are saying, don't feel like it's going backwards. It's not going backwards. It's kind of reacquainting ourselves with the resources we truly need, not the manufactured needs, but the resources we truly need. Let me go to the home ec. That's right. I was talking to you guys. I got my nails done, and I really love my tech. Marseille, I hope you watch me. But my nail tech, she's younger. And it was funny because there was a woman who was about my age who was sitting next to me, and we were talking. The nail techs were a little bit younger, and we were talking about struggle mills. And me growing up, I was talking about the kind that I had, and the other woman was talking about the kind she had. But we were also talking about, like, in high school, we had a home ec class, and I was asking the younger girls, I go, did you all have home ec in high school? And they were like, no. Hey, Divine Roberts, good to see you. And Raj, I think I said hi to you. But they were saying they didn't have home ec anymore. And I remember I was in junior high. We had a home ec class, like with stoves, with ovens, sewing machines. I mean, we had to learn how to sew, learn how to cook, learn how to, I think they might have even made us do some, light accounting. And then now, when you think about it, all of that is gone. I mean, at some point a few years ago, I was like, why are there all these businesses with ready-made meals? Like people don't know how to cook. I'm looking at stuff and people are like, we'll ship all of this to you in a box. And I'm like, people don't know how to go grocery shopping and get all that. And it's true. Like that knowledge, I think for most young folks that are coming up through school, it's been lost. Like we don't even, oh, we had industrial arts, like wood. Oh, yeah, we had wood shop. We had mechanics. I mean, some of it when I was growing up in high school is very gendered. So it's like all the boys did wood shop, and not all of them, but I'm pretty sure most of the wood shop and mechanic students were the boys, and then everybody else for home ec, photography. We had photography. I mean, we had a dark room. You learned how to develop your own film, and all of that is, I think a lot of that is gone. But you all let me know. Yeah, I love that. It's like the industrial arts we had. Yeah, and now I think the ancestors are saying we are returning to that. We're going to return to it, and yeah, we are literally, literally, as earthlings, we need to reclaim our relationship with the earth. And I think that's something that the earth really needs right now. The earth really wants. Please, at this point, we need to restore the earth. What else does the ancestors want to say? Yeah. You know, and to forget the joy, like getting back into our bodies. This says dancing, getting back into our body, getting back into having time to connect with each other. We were never meant to just be in our homes on the weekend, exhausted and not like seeing each other, hanging out. Raj, my whole life is a dark room. What movie? What movie was I talking about? I forgot. But there's a movement. And I think this will be, I'm seeing that word because it says movement up here. And they're not only talking about our physical movement, but the movement of our consciousness. This is something that our ancestors are saying. It's going to become a movement. We are all connecting. It says Holy One. It says inspiration. We are connecting with who we have always wanted to be. Joyful, peaceful beings that didn't need. Oh, it's a quote. Sorry. I didn't know that quote. Yeah, my whole life is a dark room. Yeah, who said that? Um, yeah, this Holy One. Spirit says, and our ancestors say, this is from the ancestor deck too, that we're going to connect with our spiritual consciousness. I did a post a couple of days ago because Spirit says we're moving away from the wealth of money into the wealth of spirit, meaning to be spiritually wealthy means that you are moving away from this system where everybody's worth is attached to how much money they have, how much credit they have, whatever, where they're living, what they're driving. All of that is like old world consciousness. And we are moving into the new world consciousness. Oh, Winona Ryder and Beetlejuice. Oh, I love that movie. So let's get into some other messages. I'm being told to pick one of these. Let's see. I love that movie, by the way. Spirit is also saying that this awakening that we're going into, we have to construct because there is no map for it right now. There is no plans for it right now. It's inside of us, Spirit says, because our future selves are already living that timeline. So there is a way to connect with our future selves to kind of get a vision of where we're going. But Spirit says, as long as we continue to see through the eyes of our oppressor, we are not going to create this world. So this is why we have to become futurists. We have to reimagine this life. Let me see what Spirit is trying to share with us here. Ooh, two things. Okay. Fierce love. Yeah. Says here, vulnerability is strength. I think I saw that. Where did I see that again? Yeah, vulnerability is strength. Establish healthy boundaries. Yeah, right now I got a message too this morning. If you have any energy vampires in your life, get rid of them. Like, leave them. Spirit is saying everybody will find their way eventually. This is not a time to be codependent. This is not a time to be dragging people along. The only people we're really responsible for are our small children, or maybe elders that are, that we're responsible for. Someone who's like, has special needs, might be an adult. But, those are only 3 categories of people that we could be bringing along. Everybody else, please do your work. And Spirit is like, let them do their work. They're going to come to this. Everybody will. Love regardless of reciprocation. Have integrity in all interactions. Everyone is doing the best with the tools they have. Transmute fear into love. I think a lot of that message is just meaning that we have to start to get serious about this transformation. We can't keep living with one foot in one world and one foot in the other. It's just not even going to even scientifically allow us to do that at some point. So now is the time. And I love that I'm seeing mutual aid coming, like ramping up as the SNAP benefits have been tampered with. We see that we are getting ready to enter into a world where we're all going to have to rely on each other. And you know what? Around the world, that is already the case. You know what I mean? People are already sharing resources. It's going to happen here. The second card, look how beautiful that is. It says focus. Spirit says, examine your priorities. Place attention with intention. Aim for highest potential. Be strong in your purpose. You will achieve your goals. So we are being told that the more that we focus on the things that we do want, the world that we do want to have, and this is going to be in all areas of life, you all. It will be finances, relationships, how we're living, how we're educating ourselves. Everything has to be reimagined. We should not have people going broke to be in school to get a job that doesn't take care of them or doesn't even pay them what it costs for them to get the schooling to qualify for the job. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all part of one big kind of enmeshed cycle. I don't know. I'm seeing it like an enmesh. Have you ever seen a rubber band ball? You know how they're just layers of rubber band? It's like that. It's like there's just so many layers, and the system is just feeding off of itself. It can't do it anymore. And we don't want to get caught in a place where we're desperate, where we're having to, like, literally Octavia Butler's book, Parable of the Sower. Did you all read that book, Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler? Because for real, I mean, she tells how it could go if we don't leave survivalist mode. And if you haven't read that book, it's time to read it. Let's get some spiritual messages. Thanks, Raj. Yeah, we I'm like looking at my notes. Yeah, that is enmeshment. Like this rubber band ball. Like, how do we even get to the center of it all. Okay, we got 3 messages. Spirit says, first message, self-awareness is key. Okay? Take time today to go within and spend time within your soul. Go for a walk in nature and ground yourself. Meditate. Listen to your favorite music. Whatever you enjoy most, do it today. The second message, let go of the old and make way for the new. Come through, Spirit. You may find yourself being distracted by random thoughts, fears, or doubts. Don't allow yourself to be governed by them. Simply observe and choose to take aligned actions and choices. Okay? And go back to the heart of who you truly are. There you will find peace. Look at your life in its entirety. Acknowledge any old wounds and then release them. Use what they taught you as added strength. Keep moving forward with renewed sense of confidence. So, I mean, what Spirit is saying here too, thank you so much, Boss Lady, is that we have to understand that this earth, you know what I've been told along, I'm interrupting myself because something came through to remind me of what I was told and when I was communicating with Spirit maybe a few months ago. Spirit said the earth is actually a very valuable place. There's not many planets in the system that are like living ecosystems. I'm being told even by Spirit now that each kind of like galaxy is lucky to have even one kind of planet that's like the Earth. There's not many planets that can sustain life, that can evolve life. And that when an Earth is discovered by many other, because there's a lot of entities out there, there's a lot of galactic things out there, galactic communities, I'm hearing even, that when an Earth-like planet is discovered, it's like all of these entities want to go and seed it. SEED. Seed it. Because they want to seed it with their energy. It's almost like they come here looking for a planet like this. It's like a gold rush almost when many communities, galactic communities, discover a planet like this because it is abundant. And we are lucky, I'm even hearing this from Spirit now, to be born as earthlings, children of this planet. So, Boss Lady, when you say the Earth was supposed to be a utopian place, right? Here, we were put here to be stewards of this earth. And, we were stewards and protectors. But, we didn't see what currently is, we didn't see that coming. We didn't see, because I don't really believe that the people who are in charge of this planet now, I don't believe they're earthlings. I'm sorry, I just don't. They may have a body that looks like a human, but I don't believe many of them are from Earth. I think they have some other origin. And I think they manipulate other people to follow them, but I do not believe, because they have no love of life. Everything they do is anti-life. And you have to look at it factually. They are not here to promote the life of this earth. They're literally destroying it, and they're destroying us along with it. And so that makes me immediately think, you have no connection to this. I don't care how traumatized you are. You have no connection to this place. You must be from a different timeline, a different place, I want to believe that, because I don't believe there's any earthlings who would want to do harm to the earth. I think we feel it in our veins. We feel like when we go out in the fresh air, when we go to a park and we lay down, when we go in the ocean and swim, I think we feel that connection. And the only way they've been able to disconnect us from the earth is by consuming us with working, consuming us with the almighty dollar. That has not been healthy for us. Many of us are unhealthy right now because of that disconnection. Yeah. Thank you, boss lady, for that. Because there is so much we have to do to get back to the love of ourselves, you know? So those were the messages. Let me get into the, do I have anything else? Tarot. Oh, you know what? One more. Because we had, what we did is we asked what the African goddesses who were going to be, I don't know, with us during this transition. And so I asked this deck of the African goddesses, and we'll see who comes forth in this reading. But yeah, who's going to be the energies that walk with us, that help us, who are going to be supporting us? All of the energies, really. But it's so funny because some of them are repeating. That's very nice. Okay. We have Atete, which is an Ethiopian goddess of, I got to find the book. Where's my book? Oh, there it is. I'll read it to you all too, so that you'll know what the different goddesses are. So goddess Atete is worthiness. We have, Esreli Dantor, one of my personal favorites. Esreli Dantor, Haitian. Etheric chords, it says. We're gonna go through these. We have quite a few that are joining us tonight. Ma'at, come on through, Ma'at. Giving and receiving. Allah, grief. I got something to say about that. And oh yeah, Mami Wata. Look at that. Very good. I mean, the mothers are coming through for us. And the mothers are here for everyone, regardless of culture, descent, because we're all earthlings, let me tell you. So Atete. Let me read what it says for Atete. And sorry if I'm mispronouncing, because I'm not sure if that's fully how you pronounce her. Okay, so this is our warrior mother, Atete. And she is the queen of gods, a fierce protector of women and girls. And she's from the Oromo people of Ethiopia, so it's that specific group of folks. And her message, listen, you all, it says, stop hiding, stop shrinking, playing small, stand tall, like the majestic sycamore tree. You are mighty. Life does not need to be perfect for you to embrace your own perfection. You matter. Worthiness is in your veins. Accept yourself now. Your birth certificate says you need your overflowing magic, joy, and vulnerability. There's that word vulnerability again. Like, I think we really have to start showing our true selves to each other. Like, are you suffering? Yes, I'm suffering too. Like, are you sad about this? Are you grieving this? Yes, I am too. Let's stop pretending that we're happy. Let's stop pretending. I mean, we can have happy moments. I'm not saying that we all can't be happy or joyful, but why don't we start telling each other truth? Like, I'm struggling, She says, you are deserving and you are worthy. The beautiful part that everyone likes is worth loving. And the parts that you don't like, the parts that some people have criticized you for, are also worth you loving. So there's this warrior spirit that's coming through from the mothers. And then we have Allah. And it says grief underneath there. And Allah, you know, even before I read it, it's just like Spirit says, let's not even pretend this is not going to be a process of grieving as well. Because we spent a lot of time suffering and thinking that things were our fault if we weren't making it, or things were our fault if things didn't work out right for us. We thought we weren't working hard enough. We thought we weren't, um, doing enough to be enough. And Allah says, um, give your spirit to grief. We will have grief rituals because we don't want any of us to go into the new earth in shame. We don't want any of us to go into this new earth in anger and sorrow, depression. We want to make sure that the new earth is experiencing a new version of ourselves. I mean, we still want to retain the memories, but we want to heal all that we need to heal right now. Allah is saying that we need to wail it out. We need to cry it out. We need to sob. We need to shriek. We need to shed tears. We need to surrender to grief. Allah says, we are holding unprocessed grief. You want to skip over it. You want to say you're back to normal, but grief doesn't go away because you ignore it. The only way to handle it is to walk through it. Losing a loved one is an ultimate heartbreak, but you also experience grief after breakups, job loss, and disappointments. Self-love and self-care are required. Ask for support. Be gentle with yourself. So I think Allah is also saying that she's going to be here for us during these grief rituals because we need to express all of that during these times, whether it was us or our ancestors, our lineage. I have like a bug around me, which I don't like because that means somebody's, I think it's gone. It could mean that our ancestors, our lineage also has never had a chance to grieve. And Allah is saying right now that that is going to be a big part of this transitioning, that we set aside time to grieve, that we authentically are with each other to hear the wrongs that were done. You know, I'm thinking right now, Spirit is bringing up that truth and reconciliation that South Africa did. I don't know what people think of that, you know, who are from South Africa, but it was a beautiful idea to me, truth and reconciliation, where people came forward and had to talk about all the harms that were done to them, all the wrongs, and the people who were the wrongdoers, as well as just the community, had to listen. And I think something of that nature needs to happen again. We have Israeli Damtor, who's a Vodun, I think Haitian, but we can look. I love her because she's always, this imagery of her is like mother and child. And if you look at some of the Black Jesus and Marys, especially the ones from Europe, because I saw when I went to Germany a long time ago, like I was in a museum and I saw a picture of hers. I think in Polish, maybe Polish Black Madonnas have it as well, but you'll see 2 scratches on the cheek. That is Israeli Dantor. She is the mother. She's known as the mother with a knife. She is definitely a protector of the single mother and child. Yeah. Thank you, Chiefess. I hope you all can stay because I'm going to do a meditation with you all at the end of this. We only have like tarot cards to pull, and then I'm going to read this, what is called Declaration of Sovereignty. And it's very powerful because Spirit says we have to start ending our contracts with this old world. But Israeli Dantor, let me go to 27. She is of the Temple of the Lovers. Very beautiful. Israeli Dantour fought elbow to elbow with her people in the Haitian Revolution to protect mothers and children. She represents healing from the Dark Mother. If it isn't wholehearted love, release it, she says. Remember your worth. Worth is another word that's coming up often. She says the energy cords binding you and someone you no longer wish to be attached to are strong. You must be willing to let it go. I think I want to expand this. I don't think it's just about a person. I think it's this government, this regime. We need to understand their cords on us are powerful, but we're more powerful. Well, that's what this whole message is about. We're more powerful than anything they can dish out against us. So you have to be willing to cut those energetic cords. She says, close your eyes, see divine swords of God, goddess, lovingly in light separating you, dissolving the cords between you and the ones that bind you. Okay? So this is Israeli Dantour saying we need to do a lot of cosmic collective cord cutting with this energy. Very deep. We need to cut cords with this. I mean, we'll sit here all night and be like, I need to cut cords from this ex. We never thought we needed to do it from this system. You're being told that. I'm all like, that's the first time I'm hearing it too. I'm like, dang, we need to do some cord cutting collectively. Now we have Ma'at. If you don't know Ma'at, this is that goddess, that mother, that when you die, they say, you will meet Ma'at in the afterworld, and she has a scale. And she'll take your heart and she'll weigh it against the weight of a feather. And your heart has to be lighter than a feather to enter through her gates. Isn't that deep? And so let's see what it says in this book for Ma'at. But Ma'at, the 10 Commandments were a replica. They were taken from the, what do they call that? Ma'at has, I think it's 24, 26. I'm kind of not remembering the number now, but Ma'at has her own commandments, and that's where the Christians got their 10 commandments from. Ma'at, from the Cometics. Let me read what it says here. It says here, she's the goddess of conjurers. And in the last live, it was said that some of you are conjurers. You can conjure very powerfully. And Spirit wants you to reconnect with that power, with your ability to do that. Whether it's people here that are watching me live or someone watching me in the recording, you walked away from conjure and this is a divine gift that you will have for this new earth. So it says here, Ma'at represents alignment, truth, balance. Her name means order. And it says here, reset your harmonic balance. You're out of alignment. The sacred scales command you to give and receive. If you receive without giving, you are selfish and out of alignment. If you give without receiving, you are stuck in martyrdom and out of alignment. So she's saying right now it is very crucial that we all practice reciprocity, giving and receiving and giving. There's no one who should just be giving. There should be no one who's just be receiving, which we understand is kind of the energy of now. Not for individually, but collectively. There's a lot of receiving happening from a small group of people and not a lot of giving. And so Ma'at comes in saying giving and receiving is spiritual law. She says, and it's spell work. That's interesting. She says, give time, money, service, resources, and good vibes. If you're a generous giver, cultivate a practice of receiving. If you receiving is a sacred feminine principle that makes many uncomfortable. Receive compliments, joy, support, pleasure, friendship, money, and love. They are all the same in spirit. Okay? So you're being told too by Goddess Ma'at that we are balancing the scales of giving and receiving. But we also, many of us have to get out of that habit of not being able to receive in many ways, not just money or material stuff, but our flowers, our complementing flowers, our spiritual flowers. We have to be able to receive that, because in that balance, no one is left behind, nobody's left out, everybody belongs. Last card from very, very powerful Mami Wata. Look how beautiful. And it says here, naked. Something tells me it's going to be about authenticity. 30, Mami Wata, my patron mama. I love her so much. She's in the temple of the griots. And if you don't know what a griot is, that is a storyteller. So Mami Wata, she's coming forward, and she's kind of been known to in different parts of Africa. Like she's kind of worshipped a little bit differently in different communities. But here they reference Nigeria. She's the ancient mermaid goddess of her own global pantheon. Yeah, she has her own pantheon of spirits. It says Mami Wata influences emotions and gifts her followers with clairvoyance and healing powers. Again, I'm getting the message that whoever's watching this, you need to start aligning with your spiritual gifts. You all have some. Some have been ignored for a while, but Mami Wata is telling you to reconnect, because these gifts, they will serve the collective as you get stronger, more clear with them. She says, hide no more. The emotional nakedness you avoid is your superpower, not your shame. Be emotionally naked, meaning be vulnerable, enough for the real you to shine through. Vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. So Mami Wata is saying to all of us, we cannot be ashamed of these gifts. She says that whatever spirit has given us, it was for us. We can't be talked out of it. We need to lean into it, embody it, and take it on as something that we need to understand. Yeah, a crying session would be a good way to transmute. Thank you, boss lady. Mourn the losses, the old contracts, all of that. So let me lastly take out a few tarot cards before we get into, I know this has been an hour. Thank you for whoever's sticking with me. And of course, this will be available for you to watch later if you can't stick around. But let's pull the last few cards. I love this deck. It's been speaking to me lately. Tongues of the Mother. Tongues of the Mother. It's an indie deck I got a while ago. And I'm going to use her book because it's like so powerful the way that she describes the different cards. Okay. So, final messages from you, Spirit. What do you want us to know about being these futurists? I think we're ready. We are so strong. Like, I feel the energy of the collective. It is so strong, so sure right now. Like, we should not want for anything more than this moment, because we're getting ready to change the world. It is changing. We have Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I'm being told to choose all the cards first. We have Knight of Wands in reverse. We have Three of Pentacles in reverse. I have a feeling I know what this is saying. And the last card, or last couple. Hi, Ontario. Thank you for joining. We have one more card, I think. Is there one more card, Spirit? Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe not. A couple more. 9 of Swords in reverse. King of Pentacles upright. And Righteousness, which I'll tell you what that translates to. Upright. Bottom of the deck, King of Wands. Okay, so let's go to the Knight of Pentacles. In her crown era. Yay, I'm glad you're here too. You're just in time because after this tarot, we're going to do the Declaration of Sovereignty. So I'm glad you made it just in time for the tarot. So Knight of Pentacles. I want to read it from this book, you all, because like I said, she has such beautiful meanings for this. So Knight of Pentacles. I have to find it. Oh, there we go. So Knight of Pentacles in reverse, but I'm just going to read you the whole meaning, what she says here. I might have to put on my reading glasses because it's kind of small. Okay. Accept responsibility as a natural aspect of success. The mundane is a natural phase in cultivating your ideal circumstances. While this is one of the slower moving nights, this night is known to value the value of waiting to strike when the iron is sufficiently hot. The approach is not the hard part, but the wait. Stick to your current routine because slow and steady wins the race. Now, here's the part that I think is more for the reverse. Avoid feeling pressured to move quickly despite your intuition. Exercise discipline and find peace in the mundane steps towards reaching your goals. So, Spirit is saying here that we need to slow down even more, but in that slowness, do not think nothing's happening, because you also have the Knight of Wands in reverse, which really means to slow down. And so that Knight of Wands is saying that, let me get to it, because that's what I'm taking from it. But the Knight of Wands is also saying that the Knight of Wands, so hopefully you could see it, is a nonconformist card. It's a very well might be related to you in the off chance that you are given immediacy, moving, and shaking with times. This may lead to some to consider you frivolous if you're moving quickly. But for the reverse meaning, we're going to take avoid making plans without planning. This is where we're moving from survivalists to futurists. Avoid making plans without planning. Spontaneity does not lose its flair when measures have been taken to ensure your safety and success. Spirit said to read those last 3 words, safety and success. Like we need to start planning so that we can ensure our safety and the success of transitioning into a new earth. And so right now we're looking at slow is not necessarily bad, but we also need to make a plan. We don't want to just move forward willy-nilly. We have 3 of Pentacles next. 3 of Pentacles says here, the 3 of Coins represents the value of collaboration. To achieve larger results, than what have been accomplished alone. This is the implementation of the idea of opportunity presented by the Ace of Coins. So, when it's followed up with two more coins, we have this group effort, right? It says avoid dismissing constructive opinions of others while making your voice being heard. So this is also a card that's alluding to our collaboration, which is very necessary in this new earth time. We're going to have to learn how to work with each other. We're going to have to learn how to listen to different opinions, and in terms of how we're going to realize this new earth dream. And it's going to really call for us to dive deep into collaboration. We have 9 of Swords next. The 9 of Swords for us, and this one is reverse. It says here, beware of rejecting the collective loved ones who are trying to help you. There's no nobility in refusing help, regardless of whether these emotions are situational or clinical. It is very well might be hard for you to find an answer in your present circumstance without the help. So, for those of us who have been isolating, I'm guilty of it sometimes myself. We need to come out into community. We need to get the energy from others around us so that we can find new solutions for our lives. So the 9 of Swords is saying, break free of these maybe these habits that we've learned, because all of these have been coping habits of the old world, of the old timeline. So we don't need to move in shame anymore in regards to how we have coped with these with this time. You know what I mean? How our lineage has coped with this time. I think we need to be easy on ourselves, because some of us have had to grow dependent on things. We've had to, you know, find ways to keep ourselves grounded as much as possible in this old reality. And so we're having to find our healing by going out and being with people again, by forming community. I mean, I volunteer once a week. I mean, you can do that. It puts you around people. It helps you to form relationships. I mean, I do more than that, but I'm just saying, like, that's an idea. And so we're getting now into what's going to happen. King of Cups. Coins, actually. It's King of Pentacles. Hold on. What's going to happen? Spirit is saying the King of Coins signifies that your vision is transforming into something a bit more practical and lucrative for the long run. King of Coins, King of Pentacles right here is saying, we're in the long game now. We're in the long game. You got to play the long game. And it says this card calls in your sense of confidence and hunger for success, as well as safeguarding what has worked, you've worked diligently to create. This is the final frontier of fulfillment and returns on investment. Your methodical thinking, ingrained in an experimental approach, is and will pay off exponentially. So there's something here where this King of Pentacles is saying, if we play the long game, meaning don't rush, don't feel as if, everything has to happen overnight, because the Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles too was here. But do work hard, consistently, invest in the new world, and it will be the place that we were all visioning, all imagining where we wanted to live. It is true. Last card, righteousness, which is temperance. Okay? That's the last card. With harmonious ebb and flow of natural law, we balance. Okay? Come through, Spirit. It says, in times of chaos, our inner peace is tested to see just how resilient we are. Balance, patience, and taking only what you need are the keys to stabilizing your spirit. Allow the divine life force to flow through in such a way that your feet are firmly planted on the ground. And you move with grace, knowing the universe will not let you fall. Allow both your emotion and logic to coexist so that little trifles presented in everyday life do not crack the serenity of your soul. How beautiful. It says this card represents the middle path, the path between the infinite paradigms of human perspective. This is about harmony. It's about balance. It's about divine intervention. And I'm being even told by Spirit right now, divine intervention is even happening right now, even if we don't think it is. It is. This change must happen. So that's what I have for the tarot for this message. And now, if you are willing, I think there might only be 2 people here right now. It was a long reading. But I'm going to invite you, if you want to get comfortable wherever you are, if you're sitting down, or inviting you to sit or maybe even lay down to receive this message. This is called the Declaration of Sovereignty, which I will be reading to you, but take it in. And my suggestion for just a few seconds is for you to maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze. And if you wish, begin to pay attention just to the natural breath in your body, the natural inhale, the natural exhale. As you make contact with that, hello, D. Sevenson. Yeah. As you make contact, thank you, my crown era as well. So as you make contact with that natural breath in your body right now, because this is long and powerful, what we're about to do is release you from old world contracts. So as you're listening to this, you need to reimagine that you are rendering all contracts null and void, okay? And if you want me to, let me put that link right now in case some of you have to leave. I'm putting the link in the chat because Spirit is giving me the instruction that we all need to keep doing the work on breaking these contracts during this time, especially if you notice yourself becoming overwhelmed by what's happening. It's by design. So you have to understand they're wanting to create this kind of anxiety. But in breaking the contracts, which we're getting ready to do right now, you will continue this work. So the link will bring you to exactly what I'm getting ready to read. So connecting with that breath in your body. And here we go. Let me take a sip of water, actually. Sorry. Okay. The following is to be declared in effect via the spoken word. So make sure you read this out loud to yourself in the future. This is my declaration of freedom from all control, AI, beings, and authority structures that interfere in harm against my sovereign free will. Let it be known that I withdraw consent. I terminate all contracts of agreements concluded by third parties regarding myself, and herewithin return all liabilities and karmic implications to the contracting parties on all levels, dimensions, time, and timelessness. I withdraw consent to have any human being, living organism, machine, entity, person, corporation, secret group, or their representatives, their superiors, employers, their on and off world allies, or any working for or within the above to spy, to look into, to watch, or in any way invade my privacy for any harmful reason. Privacy is defined as my own unique personal life experience. I revoke, withdraw, and retract all harmful agreements for all my bodies, parts, fragments, atoms, DNA cells, etheric essences, and the entirety of being as an entire universe that I am on all levels, dimensions, time, cycles of time, past, present, and future, and on all levels of existence for all my bodies, from the core being of the one that I am to all my bodies across all universes, even in the folds of time and space where much is attempted to be in hiding. Each experience of my being is for my personal growth and development. It is not for corporations to seek profit from. They are not to be manipulated and controlled by any person, entity, corporation, government, religion, machine, being, except myself. These experiences, which are part of my unique life experience, cannot be used by any other being, human, entity, corporation, group, and any other example of someone or something that is not myself in any way that creates money or capital or profit or control while demanding, demeaning, degrading, or negatively affecting my living being. The monetization and collateralization of my personal energy and my personal being, myself, for the purpose of buying, selling, or owning is forbidden under any and every terminology, language, contract that is being and has been used to control and manipulate my personal energy and being. The monetization and collateralization of my personal human body, which houses my unique DNA, that is my private domain, for the purpose of buying, selling, owning, and controlling, is forbidden and banned. The buying, selling, owning, and trading of my soul energy or my unique human being body on or by any stock exchange, financial institution, corporation, government, and religious organization in the world or in any other world is expressly forbidden and banned. The buying, the selling, the owning of my unique and personal DNA, energy, physical body, consciousness, anywhere in any universe, dimension, astral level, time, or world is forbidden and banned. The harvesting of my energy by any group, organization, corporation, government, religious sect, astral entity, galactic being, or anyone who is not myself is now forbidden, banned, and barred. Whatever The form, whatever form it takes, my energy is my own creation, and I do not consent to having it harvested for others to use or to profit from. Such buying, selling, and controlling amounts to slavery and is forbidden by me under my own sovereign free will and law that I impose. I withdraw consent to use the use of nanite technology, parasites, and other types of infectious diseases or infectious technology, whatever, whensoever, wheresoever, now, in the past, or in the future, to be used upon my human physical body, mind, consciousness, or soul while I'm living here on this earth or any places in or out of space and time where such forces can influence my one being. I withdraw consent to any type of mind control or the use of intelligent technology implants, physical, etheric, astral, living, non-living, to be used on my living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my astral body, my consciousness, my soul body, which could possibly have any harmful effect upon my physical body, mind, consciousness, or soul in any way. I withdraw consent to the external creation of dreams when I sleep. I withdraw consent to any other human being, corporation, government, religion, entity, machine, dimensional being, entity, entering my consciousness on any level, at any time, ever, if the intent is to bring harm into myself and unlawful harm into any other entity. I withdraw consent to any type of frequency wave currently being used or historically used to target my private and clearly designated unique human, physical, etheric, or astral bodies, my DNA, my cells, or my mind, my consciousness, or my soul in any way that is negative. This includes any type of exotic, secret, or covert, earth-based, or off-world based technology, which includes locations on the moon, asteroids, other undisclosed places being used that project pulses, sorcery, beams, or waves of any kind of frequency which can be used to be detrimental to the human body, mind, consciousness, or soul. I withdraw consent to the use and effects of fluoride in drinking water, in addition to genetically modifying the food grown or sold for human consumption. I withdraw consent to aerosol sprays being placed in the air I breathe, nor to programming being inserted into music that I listen to. I withdraw consent and do not accept any programming placed into audio and video images I'm exposed to. I withdraw consent to the negative manipulation of the weather and to the poisoning of the earth because I know that these acts are harmful and unhealthy to myself and others. I withdraw consent to the use of psychics, black occult magicians, acryons, demons, and negative spirits, or any entities using mental energies or any other forms of frequency, harms, and attacks against my living being or bodies, and the use of bodies to inflict harm upon others. I withdraw my consent to exotic, machine-like, robot technology, either physically or etherically or astrally implanted, used in any way to track, alter, torment, attack, abuse, infect, or harm my body, my mind, my astral body, my consciousness, or my soul at any time, at any place, for any reason. I withdraw my consent to any deception being used on my living being at any time, anywhere, which creates any negative outcomes concerning the health and welfare of my personal body, mind, and soul, also known as my own personal living being. And to my free will, my prosperity, my wealth, my happiness, also described as my life. I am using my sovereign, lawful will and intention to declare and order that no energetic can deceive me personally in any way that affects me harmfully or negatively. No treaty made with any human being, corporation, government, religion, entity, machine, whether on or off this planet, is valid. If that contract or treaty in any way affects my life, my body, my mind, my consciousness, or my soul in any measurable, negative, and harmful way, no treaty made by anyone, anywhere, is valid if it collaterally affects my living and breathing being, my life, my happiness, my prosperity in a harmful and negative way without my full and comprehensive and transparent consent to said or stated treaty, even if I personally am not party to such a treaty. This includes all corporate treaties and contracts, as well as any treaties or contracts considered to be off-world or interdimensional. I remove all prior consent to deception, harm, enslavement, or control of my living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my astral body, my consciousness or my soul body on any and all levels. Any previous contracts, or previous consents through any form of tactic or assumed consent is now completely null and void, forbidden, and banned on all levels of existence. Any contracts made during any of my previous on or off Earth world incarnations that involved gross deception, gross violation, trickery, mind control, magic, black magic, occult sorcery practices, all here and now, are permanently null and void. No contract I've signed or agreed to, either in writing or assumed to be, or a tactic agreement as concerns to incarnations in any way, shape, or form upon this earth is valid, regardless of any perceived amount of time, space, physical, dimensional, or otherwise, has transpired since the original contract or agreement has begun. If any of my previous consents or contracts of which I was a party involved me under distress or were made as a result of deception, they're all now deemed invalid. If any of my previous consents or contracts involved intentions of using me to serve another selfish agenda or purpose, they're all now invalid. Any person, being, corporation, government, religion, entity, machine, consciousness that wishes to have a contract with me, my living being, my physical body, my ethereal body, my electromagnetic body, my astral body, my consciousness, my soul body must do so in complete transparency with every single piece of that contract or consent explained in full detail with absolutely no missing information or obligation left unstated or unexplained, and must be written out in full with my fully conscious approval and wet ink signature. Public notice to Earth's criminals, harm-inducing, appointed caretakers and leaders, including earthly visitors, whom are their supporters, And any being, entity, corporation, government, religion, machine, or persons aligned in any way of any of these beings. If any such things as listed previously have been done or ever were ever done, then those acts occurred without my consent and will be considered deception and are void and are nulled. All tactic or presumed consents of me for any act of doing done by another person, entity, being, etc., that affects me in any way that I perceive as negative, harming, or controlling to my free will whatsoever, and hereby now permanently are removed and challenged and denied. If it is denied to any and it is denied to any and all beings, entities, unless a current contract or treaty has been negotiated by me personally. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to the agent. No further notice is deemed necessary. And this is now both written and recorded on the planet Earth Gaia upon all off-world dimensional universal records. If any human being, entity, government, religion, corporation, group from this planet Earth Gaia, any dimension, any universe, any perceived other level of existence wishes to form any contracts or agreements or treaties with me, they must do so face to face. In this physicality that my human body resides in on this planet, in full acknowledgement and agreement of my free will to choose to do so, only under the agreements written in this declaration. I have the right of my own sovereign will to change, update, and modify this declaration at any time. Ashe. Let me know as you soak that in, how that feels to you. Because this is what we must get into the practice of doing. It's unfortunate, but we have to first cleanse ourselves of old cords. Remember, that was said by, was it Mama Ma'at? Was it Israeli Adantor? The goddesses, Ashe. Yeah. You know, we have to clear ourselves of cords, clear ourselves of contracts, treaties, because we're constantly, you get in this reality, right? Everything that we want to do requires for us to sign contracts all the time. Permission to use somebody's app, permission to, access somebody's website. We're constantly agreeing and accepting, And it's like we have to, Spirit is saying, walk all that back. You are not bound on this earth or any other timeline or any other dimension. Okay? So you all have the link in the chat, because this is going to be required work for us to continuously cleanse our being, preparing ourselves for new earth existence, preparing ourselves to be futurist, not survivalist. Okay? It is important that we understand none of this is over the top. You know what I'm saying? This was created, that declaration was created in 2015 by a group of people. It wasn't by me. And you've got to understand, this is not over the top. This is absolutely necessary, because we have been under undue influence for way too long. We actually probably have no idea. Thank you, Chiefess. Thank you, Your Crown Error. Thank you, everyone who's joining me. either on this live or if you're listening to it later. We've got to understand, and I think my work as a spiritualist will be shifting. In fact, I know it will be. You may not see all the little entertaining readings. I might do them every once in a while. But Spirit is telling me this work is what we need to do to free ourselves and prepare. And, the more that we do, the more spiritually wealthy we become. And nothing can impact our lives, without our permission. That's the scary part, right? With all of this, we take back the will. You know what I mean? We take the will with Spirit, but it becomes our responsibility, our life. We're not being told what to do anymore. And so with great responsibility, what is that saying? Something with great responsibility. Maybe with great knowledge has a great responsibility, something like that. But you all let me know. I'm wrapping it up unless you have any questions or thoughts. But this was almost 2 hours. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. But this was a real powerful download by Spirit. And, I'm happy I obeyed twice today. And I want you all to know that, I'm out here. Isn't it deep? It's very deep. It covers all the points you didn't know it was going to cover, did you? It did. So I'm glad you all received it. And I will keep doing this every once in a while to make sure we can collectively experience this breaking of the contracts. But you have like I said, you have the link. And we're given permission on the website for this to be public. Yeah, it's public. So, we far and wide, we let people know we're breaking contracts, y'all. We're heading into this new earth and we're not playing. We are not taking any of this filth with us. And filth meaning those folks. We are not doing it. We're not taking that energy, rather. There are many people who are under control right now. They may not know what they're doing or saying. This healing that we're doing is going to be in service to them too. But we're not focusing, you know what I'm saying, on or waiting for them to come around. They will find their way. Spirit keeps saying that. They will find their way simply by us doing the work. So thank you all. Thank you so much. And please like this if you have a chance to like this live so that other people get a chance to see it. And please, please send it to other people if you think it'll be useful. All right, my honeys, take care. Bye.